Hello students, I hope you are fine and healthy at home. So today we are going to deal with the topic that is leadership situational theory and team building. So I, Dr. Priyaraj Butolia, Assistant Professor, Bora Institute of Management Sciences. So students, what is all about leadership? And before discussing main about leadership, we will be discussing about the topics to be covered for today, that is introduction, leadership situational model, team building and Tuckman model of team building. So, let us start with what is leadership all about. Leadership is not something you do to people, but it is something you do with people. So, leadership is actually about empowering people who are your subordinates or your followers. Leadership is an art of motivating a group of people to act towards achieving a common goal. So, it is basically an art of motivating people. In a business setting, this can mean directing workers and colleagues with a strategy to meet the company's need. Leadership is also all about directing the employees or the colleagues to meet the company's objective or needs. Third point, it is the ability to influence and guide followers or other members of an organization. It is also states that it is an ability to influence and guide. So, with the help of introduction, it is clearly said that leadership is all about motivating, it is about encouraging, directing, influencing and guiding the followers, colleagues, co-workers, workers in an organization to meet the organizational objectives or the goals. For today, the topic is the situational theory. The situational theory is divided into two parts, that is SLT1 and SLT2. So, let us discuss the situational theory part 1 in this PPT and in this slide. So, actually the situational theory was developed in late 1960s by Dr. Paul Hersey and Kenneth Blanchard. So, these are the two people who have developed the situational theory of leadership. It was first introduced as life cycle theory of leadership. During the mid of 1970s, the life cycle theory of leadership was renamed as situational theory. The theory or the situational theory was given by two people, that is Dr. Paul Hersey and Kenneth Blanchard. The factor or the fact of situational theory was first introduced in the life cycle theory of leadership, which was renamed as situational theory in 1970s. In simple words, situational or a situational leader is the one who can adopt different leadership styles depending on the situation. So, this style of leadership is basically situational based. जैसे situation लीडर के सामने आती है वो उसके हिसाब से अपनी स्टाइल्स को मैनेज करता है एंड ही गेट्स द वर्क डन बाय हिज वर्कर्स और हिज कलीग्स. So, situational theory focuses on the leadership style based on the situation. Dr. Paul Hersey has also written the book, he was an author of the book known as The Situational Leader, and Kenneth Blanchard has written the book 1 Minute Manager. So, these two renowned personalities has given the concept of situational theory. The style may change continuously to meet the needs of others and of the organization based on the situation. Here, actually, the concept of situational theory is being discussed. This theory advocates that leadership is strongly affected by the situation from which a leader emerges and in which he works. So, basically the leadership style or the leadership is dependent on the situation in which the leader is working or in which situation he has merged. Situation is an important factor according to the leadership style. The leader is said to be a good motivator, a good encourager if he adopts a specific style of leadership in a particular set of situation. Now, the situational theory also depends on some factors like the nature of task. जैसा काम होगा वैसे leadership styles adopt करनी होगी. The nature of group, जैसा group होगा formal, informal, उस हिसाब से आपको leadership adopt करनी होगी. And there are some other factors which also might influence the leadership style. So here the leadership style has been bifurcated on the basis of the nature of task or the nature of group to which the leader has to manage. Lastly, thus it implies that there is no single optimal leadership style. As we have seen that we have autocratic style of leadership, we have democratic style of leadership, we have free range type of leadership, but in situational theory it is clearly been said that there is no right style of leadership. It is all that situation demands is the best style according to that. So here no style is good or no style is bad, it is a situation that demands the style from a leader. Now here the leadership styles are divided into four types. First is the telling, that is known as S1 style. In this leadership style, the leader tells people what to do and how to do. This is a style in which leader को हमेशा बताना होता है कि कैसे करना है और कब करना है. This is basically the style in which the leader has to continuously be into the directing position. He or she has to direct his employees कि काम कैसे करना है और actually वो उसे कैसे आप finish करेंगे. So here this is a telling style of leadership in that the leader has to continuously tell the subordinate or the employee what to do and how to do. The second one is the selling style of leadership. The selling style of leadership is also known as S2. Here the leader sells his ideas and messages to get group members to buy into the process. What it actually means? Selling is a two-way process, two-way communication process. Here information and direction is being provided to the subordinates, and you need to persuade and convince the subordinate. In short, you need to sell your ideas and messages to the group members. That is, you need to persuade and you need to convince that whatever you are doing is right, and your colleagues or your subordinates will follow those style or those tasks according to your leadership. So it is based on the selling style or the selling of your ideas and messaging style, which is generally seen in example of internship. Internship, the people are very excited and very self-motivated, but here the leader needs to sell his ideas, he needs to convince the people, and then they will work according to his style. The third is the participating style, that is known as S3. Participating style is also known as democratic style. In this style, the leader offers less direction and allows the members to be more active with ideas and making decisions. So here less direction is being provided, but members are allowed to be more active. That is actually the democratic style of leadership. Here more relationship is built, but less direction is being provided. For example, here corporate leaders can be an example of participating leadership style. And finally, the last is about delegating, which is S4. Group members tend to make most of the decisions and take most of the responsibilities of what happened. This type is similar to free rein or laissez-faire style of leadership. In this style of leadership, less involvement in decision making is made by the leader, and the subordinates or the colleagues are given freedom to do their work. They can take decision in their own domain, and they have to take the responsibilities of what happens. Like the professors in universities or college, they have the freedom that they can get the work done by they can take the lectures in the university according to their own speed and according to their own accord, but they have to complete the syllabus, and that is being supervised by the dean of the university or college. So here delegating is actually the free rein, and here the example is about the professors teaching in university. we have discussed the 4 styles of leadership, that is telling, selling, participating and delegating. Now let's see the maturity level which matches with the leadership styles in situational theory of leadership. Now here, according to the maturity level of the colleagues or the co-workers, the management style has to be matched up. So here the maturity levels are discussed in 4 phases, that is M1, M2, M3 and M4. Now first is the maturity M1. Here the group members lack the skills, knowledge and willingness to complete the task. Means here the people are not at all good in skills, they are not at all good in knowledge and as well as they are not at all willingness to complete the work. That is the first level of maturity. Here you need to provide spoon feeding to the employees because they do not know anything about it, nor they have knowledge or skills and neither they are willing to do or to complete the work. So it is actually a very bad situation in terms of manager. Now the maturity level M2. The group members are willing and enthusiastic but they lack the ability. So here they are willing, they are enthusiastic but they lack in the skills and ability, means they are very motivated to do the work, they are very willing to do their work but they are somewhere short in skills and abilities which can somewhere be maintained with the help of training or MDPs or FDPs. But this is at least a better situation कि group members are willing, they are happy and they are confident doing the work. Third maturity level is M3. Here the group members have skills and capability to complete the task but are unwilling to take responsibility. This is just opposite of M2. In M2 you have seen that they were willing, they were enthusiastic but lack of ability was there. Group number maturity M3 is just opposite of M2. Here they have skills and capability to complete their work but they are not at all willing to take the responsibility. So this is opposite of M2. So we have discussed M1, M2 and M3. M4. M4 is the group members are highly skilled and they are willing to complete the work. So this is the actually win-win situation in which the manager can get easily the work done by his colleagues or by his employees. In the fourth level of maturity, employee is enthusiastic, willing as well as he is highly skilled, he is highly competent. So these are the 4 maturity levels of an employee or a co-worker with which a leadership styles have to be matched. Now, in the third and the final stage of SLT1, we have to match the styles and the levels, the maturity levels of your employees or co-workers. Now matching with the style and the level, the first is about low maturity is aligned with telling, that is S1. Here low maturity means the person is nor willing nor able to do the work. So here the best style of leadership is telling. In telling style of leadership, the employee has to tell what to do and how to do. So here a continuous telling and continuous monitoring supervision is actually required, and here spoon feeding is done. Here the manager has to do spoon feeding and generally this is required for new or untrained employees. So here M1 is being matched with S1. M1 is actually no skills with no willingness to do the work and S1 is telling about what to do and how to do the work. Second is the medium maturity is been, that is M2 is been aligned with S2. Here the person is willing but he or she doesn't have the ability to do the work, is being matched with selling. The selling is basically about convincing the employees, persuading the employees to do the work. So here M2 is being matched with S2 and here willingness is there but lack of ability is there. So here the management style of leadership is selling, in which he or she can provide training, MDPs or FDPs to the employees to increase or to supplement the ability and skill to do a particular set of work. The third is M3 with S3. Medium maturity is been aligned with participating approach. Here in medium maturity, you have seen that the person has the ability, but he is not willing to do the work. Is being aligned with democratic or participatory style of leadership, in which he is having the ability but no willingness, and actually there is no value or contribution of his work. The employee feel that whatever he do, he doesn't get any value or contribution. That is the reason he has the ability but he is not willing. So here the leadership position, the challenging or the responsibility position with accountability can be managed with the style of participatory approach or democratic approach. The last is about high maturity, that is M4, and matching with delegating, that is S4. This is actually the win-win situation. Here the employee is willing as well as he has the ability to do the work, and here delegating in the terms of free rein means freedom is being provided to the employees to work in their own domain and take the responsibility of what is being done. So according to SLT1, the styles are being matched with the maturity levels of the leader and the employee. Let us discuss a small case about the SLT1, that is situational leadership theory 1. Here it has been said that an employee went on an extended holiday for few days. He asked to take over the work, his work was being asked to take over by an experienced colleague of his same department. Now he was of maturity M4. The colleague, because he was experienced, he was willing to do the work, his maturity level was M4. Now the person who was going on holiday has actually used the leadership style S1 while managing with his experienced colleague who was at maturity M4. Now यहाँ पर क्या हुआ, जो छुट्टी पे जा रहे थे उन्होंने S1 leadership style यूज़ की, बट उनके जो कलीग थे बिकॉज ही वॉज विलिंग, ही वॉज एक्सपीरियंस्ड, वो M4 मेचोरिटी पे थे. तो जाने के पहले जो छुट्टी पे जा रहे थे, दैट इंडिविजुअल एक्चुअली प्रिपेयर्ड अ डिटेल लिस्ट ऑफ द टास्क टू डू. सो हियर द मैचिंग वॉज एक्चुअली नॉट परफेक्ट. Here the person was belonging to M4 maturity phase, but the leadership style used by the individual going on holiday or extended leave used S1 style of leadership by listing all the detail of the task. Instead, he used to have the leadership style of S4. जहाँ maturity M4 थी वहाँ पर S4 ये leadership style use करनी थी, but instead of using S4, actually the employee used S1 style of leadership by giving a detailed instructions of what is to be done. So this was actually the mismatch of the work to be done. Let's see the second, that is situational theory part 2. It is based on the contingency theory of leadership. This is one of the first theory based on followers. हमेशा leadership theory leader क्या करता है उस पर depend करता है, but this theory actually depends on the followers side also. Clearly the right leadership style will depend on how much the person led the followers. It also says that no one can be leader without a follower's readiness. Readiness is actually the ability and willingness to accept. It is the follower who accept and reject the leader. Lastly, the leadership style should be driven by the competence and commitments of the follower. So here the competence and commitment of the follower is very important while opting for a particular leadership style. So I hope students, from the first part of leadership, it was being matched with the maturity and the leadership style given by Hersey and Blanchard theory, that was SLT1. In SLT2, it has been greatly emphasized on follower part, that how good the followers are. He is the one who accepts or rejects the leader, and his competency and his commitment is the reason of the leadership style which should be opted by a leader. Now developing people and self-motivation. Now here the leadership or the situational leadership style is being focused on the development part of the followers. In first one, it was dependent on the maturity level of the followers. Likewise, here it is dependent on the development level of the followers. Like first one is D1, which states that the follower or the employee is high commitment and low competency. In short, here the person is actually at very good situation, he is with high commitment level, and some or the other way the skills are lacking. So, lacking specific skill required for the job, but has confidence to tackle the situation. Now, second is the D2. D2 is that some competence is there, but setbacks have to be led by low commitment. So, here competence is there, but commitment is low, which says that some skills but won't be able to do the work without somebody's help. The third is the D3. D3 says about the competence is growing, but the level of commitment varies. D3 says that there is experience, but the lack of confidence and lack of motivation is the reason of followers' failure. And the last is D4. Here it is with high competence and high commitment. This is actually the win-win situation in which he is actually experienced and he is comfortable with ability and skills to perform a particular set of job. So, in SLT2, the developmental stages of followers is being judged. According to that, again 4 styles of leadership is being framed. Here the leadership styles are basically divided into 2 parts. First is the directing and the supporting. Here directing is about giving specific directions, instructions, controlling the behavior of group members, and supporting is all about encouraging, listening, offering recognitions and feedback. So, let us see all the 4 leadership styles in detail. The first one is the directing, which is very similar to the telling one. Here high on directing behavior but low on supporting. So, here the individual is actually, the leaders are high in directing but they are low in supporting. The second is coaching, that is S2. Here they are high on both the directing and supporting behavior. Supporting, that is S3, they are low on directing but high on supporting behavior. And finally, the best situation is the delegating, which is low on both directing and supporting behavior. So, here you can see that here these 2 conditions are at extreme level. The coaching is both high at directing and supporting, whereas the opposite of it is delegating, which is actually low at supporting and directing. So, these 4 leadership styles are basically focusing on directing and supporting aspect of leadership. So, here we can actually see with the help of a case study with a very small case for SLT2. Now, here new persons join an organization and you being the senior has been asked to help him for the first few weeks. Actually, he was at D1 stage, that is he was the just beginner. A new employee joined the organization. So, he was at D1 stage, high commitment level, but somewhere he was lacking the skills, he was low at competence. And you being the senior employee of the organization, you were being asked to support and to help the employees for the initial few weeks in the office joining. Now, here he is at D1 stage and you have opted S4 strategy, like you have actually gone for low on both directing and supervising, which was actually not been accepted. The phase was you have to go for S4, that is you have to go for S1, right, because here he needs high on directing and low on supporting behavior. So, here what you did is that when he was in D1 maturity or developmental stage, you have opted S4 strategy, which was actually a mismatch. You actually sit in front of a PC and you ask him to log in for certain accounts and actually push up for the meeting, but because he was new person, he felt very helpless and not supportive in behavior, and he was somewhere demotivated. So, because of the D1 developmental phase, here actually you have opted for S4 leadership style, which was not at all suitable for it. Instead of S4, you must have opted for S1, in which you should have given a detailed instructions about and the checklist of the work to be done. So, the advantages, it is more flexible, it provides way to solve the problems, and lastly, greater consideration to the complexities in social situations are the advantages of situational leadership theory. On the other hand, the disadvantages, some of the disadvantages are that in many organizations, incentives are being driven to drive the performance. They do not rely on leadership style. Actually, the perception of the subordinate on the management style may influence the performance. Here, heterogeneity of the followers may also affect the ability of leader. And finally, the weakness is that the leader may not be competent in practicing all the 4 styles of leadership. Now, coming on to the second topic, that is team building. Team building is about group formation, it is about mutual dependency, and it is a management technique to improve the efficiency and performance of a group. It also creates certain bonds, and here the members respect each other and their differences, and they work together to achieve particular set of goal. So, very briefly we will discuss about the Tuckman model of leadership of team building, which was already been discussed. So, here Tuckman model of team building focuses on 5 stages of team building. First is forming, storming, norming, performing and adjourning. As it is already been discussed, the forming is the orientation stage. In this stage, actually the people come to know each other, they introduce each other, they accept each other, and they share their personal information. Here uncertainty about the group purpose or norms, and here the people are actually unknown to each other. Second is about storming. This is known as the power struggle stage. In this, intra-group conflict occurs, and who is willing to control the group. Actually the problem of leadership is there, that the clear hierarchy within the group is being cleared. So, first is about forming, which is about orientation. The second is about storming, which is about power struggle. The third is about norming, that is cooperation and integration. Here the roles are very clear, the authority and responsibility is very clear, and the person starts actually doing the work. Here start-close relationship is being established and a companionship is being developed, and the group has a particular sense of identity. Fourth is the performance. Here actually this is known as synergy stage, in which all of them come together to solve a specific problem. Finally, the adjourning stage. This is the last stage where the group is being terminated and the mission is being completed, and wrapping up all of the activities takes place, and some of the group members may feel depressed because everybody is going to go back to their back positions. So, today students, we have discussed this situational leadership theory 1 and 2 along with the team building, and very important is the Tuckman model of team building, which was already been discussed, and we have a very short brief discussion about it. Thank you. Have a nice day.